Welcome back, everybody, to week 3 of Grad Stats, University of Cincinnati. This is video 2. I have just finished presenting to you the Ignorance Project, and my goal was to convince you of the power of effective data summaries and visualization, effective data summaries and powerful visualization tools in order to convey ideas, to explain ideas, to communicate ideas in a way that can persuade people to reconsider their beliefs. And also, perhaps even more importantly for you guys professionally, is that through these same tools, you can get, for instance, buy-in for projects that you're interested in, get funding for projects that you care about, so on and so forth. So it's an important tool to have. That's why we're focusing on this. Now, in this class, what we'll do, and I told you it's going to be a very hands-on introduction, we're going to have an introduction to data organization, data cleaning, summaries, and visualization. And every time you are engaging with a data set, it's really critical that you start with clear questions in mind. It may be very common, especially if you become a reference person in data analysis, that people will come to you with a data set on something and say, oh, can you help me analyze this data? Maybe that's your job and you want to be helpful. But remember, from the data analyst standpoint, you need to help the person hone in to a question or two that they want that data set to help them answer. Now, if you tell me, Paula, really, I understand the importance, but that's not my passion. I want to work with people that do that stuff so I can do my own thing and apply that data and that information in different ways. That is fine, but you still, when asking for help from a data analyst, you need to help them understand the question that you'd like to answer, or you're going to pay a lot of money and the person might come back with something that has nothing to do with what it is that you're doing. So it's important to understand the process of data analysis, no matter whether you're going to be in your organization the reference person that does data analysis, or if you're going to be working with one. Because one of the two scenarios is likely to be true if you want to make informed decisions in your career and in your job. Anyhow, data sets like this. This is the data set that we are going to work with to try and answer the questions I asked you at the beginning about life expectancy. Now, if you look at this, it's a very not helpful thing. We have the variables, so there is life expectancy in the 1900s, life expectancy in the year 2000, a bunch of countries, and there are much more going down, 260 more or less. If you look at the data in this form and try to answer the question, try to figure out the answer to the question, it is very hard to do so. So in order to answer the questions that we started with, what is it? What's life expectancy now? Has it changed over time and by how much? We need ways to create accurate and friendly summaries, right? Effective summaries that communicate well the ideas that communicates well what the data is showing. So it's the process of making sense of data so that we can understand the story it's telling us. And in order to convince you that we should go through the process today of introducing ourselves to tools that can help us make effective visualizations and summaries, I would like to show you maybe a future vision for where you want to get, or a vision when you're working with people that will create your summaries. You can say, here's what I need. I need effective and powerful and friendly summaries to help communicate my ideas. So let's take a look. Hang on, guys. I am getting the video ready.
Visualization is right at the heart of my own work too. I teach global health. And I know having the data is not enough. I have to show it in ways people both enjoy and understand. Now, I'm going to try something I've never done before. Animating the data in real space, with a bit of technical assistance from the crew. So, here we go. First, an axis for health, life expectancy, from 25 years to 75 years. And down here, an axis for wealth, income per person, $400, $4,000, and $40,000. So down here is poor and sick, and up here is rich and healthy. Now, I'm going to show you the world 200 years ago, in 1810. Here come all the countries. Europe brown, Asia red, Middle East green, Africa south of Sahara blue, and the Americas yellow. And the size of the country bubbles show the size of the population. And in 1810, it was pretty crowded down there, wasn't it? All countries were sick and poor. Life expectancy were below 40 in all countries. And only UK and the Netherlands were slightly better off, but not much. And now, why start the world? The Industrial Revolution makes countries in Europe and elsewhere move away from the rest. But the colonized countries in Asia and Africa, they are stuck down there. And eventually, the Western countries get healthier and healthier. And now we slow down to show the impact of the First World War and the Spanish flu epidemic. What a catastrophe! And now I speed up through the 1920s and the 1930s. And in spite of the Great Depression, Western countries forge on towards greater wealth and health. Japan and some others try to follow, but most countries stay down here. Now, after the tragedies of the Second World War, we stop a bit to look at the world in 1948. 1948 was a great year. The war was over, Sweden topped the medal table at the Winter Olympics, and I was born. But the differences between the countries of the world was wider than ever. United States was in the front, Japan was catching up. Brazil was way behind, Iran was getting a little richer from oil, but still had short lives. And the Asian giants, China, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Indonesia, they were still poor and sick down here. But look what is about to happen. Here we go again. In my lifetime, former colonies gained independence, and then finally they started to get healthier and healthier and healthier. And in the 1970s, then countries in Asia and Latin America started to catch up with the Western countries. They became the emerging economies. Some in Africa follows. Some Africans were stuck in civil war and others hit by HIV. And now we can see the world today in the most up-to-date statistics. Most people today live in the middle, but there are huge differences at the same time between the best of countries and the worst of countries. And there are also huge inequalities within countries. These bubbles show country averages, but I can split them. Take China, I can split it into provinces. There goes Shanghai. It has the same wealth and health as Italy today. And there is the poor inland province Guizhou. It is like Pakistan. And if I split it further, the rural parts are like Ghana in Africa.
And yet, despite the enormous disparities today, we have seen 200 years of remarkable progress. That huge historical gap between the West and the rest is now closing. We have become an entirely new converging world. And I see a clear trend into the future. With aid, trade, green technology and peace, it's fully possible that everyone can make it to the healthy, wealthy corner.
Well, what you just seen in the last few minutes is a story of 200 countries shown over 200 years and beyond. It involved plotting of 120,000 numbers. Pretty neat, huh?
I think so. Do you guys? So I hope that with this, you're introduced and convinced of the power of data analysis tools, right? So in this week, we're going to engage with this particular data set here that you're seeing, this real data set that I kind of got from Gapminder, and I simplified it. I took 2 different years, the beginning of last century and the beginning of this century, so we can look and engage with it and try to figure out the answers to the questions we started with. All right, so I'll see you in the next video for me to introduce you to the lab, and you're ready to go. Bye-bye.